Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I'm your host, Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Joe.
He's back, baby. You thought he was going to be gone? Not really, because he's in season 1, but he's back, and he's so fucking cool.
We're talking about Gojo, right?
Of course we're talking about Gojo. We're talking about that blue-eyed, handsome-looking man who is a little scary, if I'm being honest.
In this episode, he is definitely a little bit, I didn't want to fight him in the first place, but now, ain't no way. You putting me in a ring with him, I am pissing on the floor, and then I am running in the other direction.
Yeah, this episode, it was cool. It was really cool.
And once again, they heard your pleas, Joe, over in Japan. They were like, okay, he wants some fight scenes. Let's give him some fight scenes.
Some bomb-ass fight scenes.
Yes, absolutely. And it starts off with the aftermath of Riko's death. We got Toji versus Geto. We see how it starts off, and it's just the dragon immediately attacks Toji. They don't have, any regard for where they are. I was thinking that as I was watching them fight, I was just like, wow, they're destroying a lot of what this whole central Tengen home thing is. Most of it gets absolutely wrecked by all the different fight stuff going on here.
Yeah, and I love the explanation that Toji gives. He's a smart motherfucker, man. Really smart.
I mean, he has to be in order to be one of the big sorcerer slayers. But also, I know it's baked into the world of Jujutsu Kaisen where it's like, okay, the more you reveal about your ability, the stronger it will become. But it is very funny how Geto just kind of lets him keep on going, even though he understands that's what's happening. I would be like, no, you're gonna shut the fuck up. That way you don't get more powerful against me. I don't care. I'm just gonna beat your ass.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I feel like Geto was just so shocked and running off pure adrenaline. I feel like he also kind of caught off guard, and obviously he was way overmatched. I think him trying to be like, okay, he might be powering up by doing this, but at least I get some information on him.
Yeah, that's true. He's trying to get some of the intel going on here. Because he watched Riko die in front of him, and then he was told, hey, your best friend, I killed him too. It's like, oh, shit, okay, I don't think he's thinking of this as a suicide mission, but I don't know if Geto fully believes that he's going to be able to get out of this.
Favorite moment in this whole fight, Geto's one curse that looks like the girl from The Ring. So cool.
Seeing him handedly deal with every single one of Geto's curses, you're like, okay, yeah, you're pretty damn powerful.
Yeah. This episode has a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen physics going on. More so later with Gojo. But, we get a little bit of the physics with Toji and everything kind of explaining how he's able to, be invisible, carry all these weapons and everything like that. But by the end of this, I was like, God damn, I need a course in Jujutsu Kaisen, science.
I need to have Gojo lecture me, raise my hand, the whole 9 yards. Fight ends, it's the only way it could have gone, because after you see how capable Toji is, there's no way Geto is going to be able to defeat him, not at his current level. And so he cuts him down. I found it interesting what he says to him. He takes notice of the fact that Geto is a curse manipulator. That's the term. Instead of being some other kind of sorcerer, he's like, okay, so I'm not going to kill you. Be grateful for your parentage, and then he gives him a swift kick to the head after he's cut him down. There's so much in regards to the whole family trees of this show, whether that be the Zenin clan, the Fushiguros, or the Six Eyes in the Gojo clan and all that sort of crap going on with them. There's a lot of stuff relating to family drama. It's almost like Game of Thrones, though, in that sense, where it's all the different families and you're learning how they're all interacting with each other.
Definitely. And it's just the tip of the iceberg, too. Even later on with the Star Religious group, kind of learning about them when the guy goes on his little tirade of why it formed and all that stuff. I don't know if we'll ever get more development on that, but for a quick moment, I was like, this is a lot of information.
It is. And briefly, let's just hop over to that real quick. Toji completes his mission. He gets the body of Riko, he brings it to the head of the Star Religious group, and he gives us the little spiel being like, yeah, so this is what we stand for, this is what is going to happen to us now because we are on the brink of destruction, and now because of you, we have everything we could ever want. And then he just takes the body of Riko, and he walks off, and we never see him again in this episode. And Toji and his guy are just like, alright, cool, job well done. Well, time to go out and do our own things, and that leads us to the next big fight. This fight, I don't know how to go above spectacular as far as wording goes, but
it is of orgasmic proportions.
Couldn't have said it better myself there. Toji walks out. He looks up, and he sees a zombie.
Basically.
Like, I understand that Toji is a badass motherfucker, alright? He's like Samuel L. Jackson, he's got the wallet. But I think even in that moment, I would probably shit myself a little bit, being like, I killed you. How?
And they did a good job of that, of being like, no, he's sincerely surprised. What is going on here?
And I love the detail of Gojo's come back from the dead. And most of the time, when you think about characters coming back from like the brink of death, they tend to be a little bit more lethargic, a little bit more kind of out of it in a certain sense. Gojo has reached enlightenment. It's like
Gojo's high as fuck.
He's literally described as being high, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And like his eyes are just fucking wide, and he's got this massive unnerving grin on his face, and you're like, this is kind of scary. He seems unstoppable, especially coming back from something so insane. And so, thinking back to last episode, we knew Gojo obviously wasn't going to die. But he's in season 1. He lives on from this sort of thing. And we were speculating, whether it's like he's able to heal himself, or whether he like makes a deal with a curse or something like that, or someone saves him. We had no idea. Turns out, it's just he was put so close to death. He's like a Saiyan in this sense, where it's like he went so close to death, and that like helped him unlock some of the stuff that he was having trouble with. Specifically, in this instance, his reversed curse techniques. There's an explanation that he gives that talks about how he's able to heal himself. Sorcerers can use cursed energy to enhance themselves, yada yada yada. They can't heal themselves with it, though. You can't regenerate, because it's negative energy. However, we all have been to basic math here, right? Yes, okay, cool. You got positive integers. They have negative integers. Cursed energy, negative. What happens when you multiply negative by negative? You get a positive, baby. And that's all the explanation we get to how he's able to use like reversed curse techniques in order to heal himself. That's fine, I guess. Maybe it's better explained in some other way. I don't know. But it just seems a little bit like, okay, we want the cool thing. To get to the cool thing, here's the basic explanation for it. All right, now just go. We're going to steamroll past that. It doesn't matter anymore. You just want to see these bitches fight. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I do just want to see these bitches fight.
It's just simple calculus. That's all Gojo did. Did a couple integrals and boom, he was there.
He was there, baby. And then we get to see a high Gojo absolutely clowning on Toji. It's very cool seeing the different tools that Toji is able to use. Seeing him pull out the chain though, attach it to the smaller blade, and actually like just start like whipping it around. I was like, oh, we're getting some Castlevania type shit up in here. Oh my god, this guy Main Richter? Huh? Alright, I see you. But they actually start fighting, and you just see Gojo, he's not even fazed by anything. He is so next level at this point. He's just like, alright, I'm thinking about so many other things. I'm not even upset that he killed Rico, and I'm sorry, Rico, talking to you up in heaven up there. I am too high. I am very sorry, I'm too high.
The motion of him dodging the attacks is so satisfying. Let me tell you, it is so fucking cool. And seeing him used, oh my goodness, red for the first time. Crazy, because it's definitely not as powerful as when we see it used in the first season. But being able to be like, whoa, we saw that for the first time. And like, I think the big impact it had was like, you could just through the screen feel like the pressure build up. I was like, this is intense.
And it's so nice seeing that he's able to use it now, because it was set up where he was like, I can't quite use this ability yet. I didn't think we would get the payoff for that, like, in the next couple of episodes. I thought that was something that may come a little bit later on, or it was just a fun little bit showing, like, look, he's not as capable as he is in the Season 1 Gojo. So it's really satisfying seeing him actually be able to unlock and use the Cursed Red ability. So cool. Especially because we've already seen he's got the Blue Amplified ability down. Now he's got the Reversed Curse Red down. And you're like, oh. Because in our heads, we know he can combine the two. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, so maybe at a later point he'll learn how to do those things. But no, in this episode, when he's thinking to himself, he's like, all right, the Game of Thrones sort of relations between all the families, they know all the dirt on each other. They understand all the different abilities that are passed down through the generations. Because they're passed down through generations, There's a lot of info on them because they've had so many run-ins with each other, so they know a lot of their dirty little secrets. However, there is a technique that no one else knows about. Even very few in the Gojo clan knows about it. You're like, oh shit, is this what I think it is? And it is. He's like, all right, red, blue, put them together, baby. That's right, we're getting fucking purple. It's not as powerful, again, as in Season 1, but that's okay, because it is just as effective.
It's magnificent. The payoff is so nice.
You don't even see the actual blast. You just see the light being emitted as he releases the technique, and then you see the aftermath as we fly through all the walls that it's blasted through, and then finally the camera zooms out through the hole that is in Toji's torso.
Love the detail of him putting his hand at the hole, like, is this real?
Yeah, he like tries to grab his torso, and the hand is just within the cavity that's now in his body, and the blood's pouring onto it, and he's like, yeah, guess that's pretty real. And it's interesting, Gojo asks him for any last words. At first he says nah, which I was like, that's totally Toji. Great characterization for him, by the way. Like, we've only known him for these 4 episodes, but oh my god, is he like, I know exactly, like, that's the perfect thing for him to say at his death. That's how well he's been characterized in these 4 episodes. But also, what does he say to Gojo? He says, like,
I have a son, and in 2 to 3 years, he's going to be sold off to the Senin clan. Do with that information what you will. And then he dies standing, which I thought was sick.
Great for his character. I just thought that was all. He's such a strong, intimidating presence. The fact that he dies standing up like that, very nice. I appreciate that a whole lot. But that also sets up, okay, so we know back in Season 1, Gojo knew about Megumi. There's a comment that Megumi talks about where he's like, yeah, this is his way of like sticking it to my old man, or something in relation to his father. So obviously this sets up that.
It's really well done, and we get the big fights and everything, but there's still more to get to, and we kind of get the hint of it with end of this episode where Gato sees the cursed spirit that was with Toji kind of running away, and Gato's like, oh shit. I'm assuming he absorbs it, because why not? And he's like, okay, I need to get to like something happen. Let me get to like the Star Plasma place, or not the Star Plasma place, the Star Religious Group. And when he gets there, it is creepy. I'm not sure what you thought of, but I immediately thought of the original ending of Evangelion with everybody clapping with him in the chair. That's kind of what it reminded me of a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think any scene in anime where it's just a bunch of people clapping as one person in the center is ever going to escape the iconography of the original Eva ending, because it's just, it's Eva. Like, that shit's permeated every anime since its release. But yeah, I love this post-credit scene that we get here, because again, it's still showing the flipped characteristics of Gojo and Gato, where Gojo is walking away with the corpse of Riko. Gato arrives there, and immediately Gojo is like, I don't think I would feel anything if all these people died. Should we kill them? And Gato, you can see the conflict in him, because obviously he's fucking pissed that all of these people are a part of something that killed this person that he cared about. And you see he's kind of like, no. The higher-ups aren't even here. These are all just people who probably have no idea what the Jujutsu world is. They don't matter. We shouldn't kill them for nothing. And Gojo's just like, wouldn't matter. I don't think anyone would miss him. And Kato's like, no. There has to be a good reason for doing something like that. And still, like, there's just this insane tension buildup, and the final shot of the both of them together, where Gojo has stepped into the red hallway, and Gato is still standing in, like, the light blue room. I don't know how it's gonna flip, Joe, but it's gonna flip at some point.
I know. I love the little tension with Gato, with him making the fist, and they do the little zoom in. All of that, I'm just like, okay, this is where we're going. It's gonna happen soon. What is it? When is it? What do they call this? The next part is premature death.
Yes.
So we finished hidden inventory.
Yeah.
This was a great episode to watch. I mean, last episode was awesome. This by far has been the best.
Yeah. Loving it. Animation is great. Story is way better than I was expecting, so very happy for all of that. So, hope you guys are enjoying Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 just as much as we are. And with all that being said, always remember, we'll love you, we'll leave you, and goodbye.